the one that Celtic fans view this evening. Absolutely lots of news to get around this evening concerning Celtic. There's lots of breaking news. And obviously, the one that is the most important one is Adam. Adam has. No, Celtic Park. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to get some clarification. Trying to get some clarification on the details that are tonight. I am trying to get some details, some clarification on the details that the allocation will be set to 0 by Celtic. But we'll leave that at the moment. John is 17 degrees and cloudy right now. I'm going to jump into the comments first of all before we talk about the Celtic news. Obviously, the big news is Adam Ida is a done deal. I'm going to turn that way. It's shining in eyes, as I say. I'm going to jump into the comments first of all before we talk about Adam Ida, before we talk about Celtic reducing the allocation because of safety concerns. And also, there's breaking news tonight that Celtic are in talks with Millwall to try and broker a deal for a young Celtic player to head to Millwall this summer for a fee of around about £450,000. It's not a lot of money, but it is money that Celtic could just get the deal done and dusted. There's no use keeping him at Celtic. Anyway, that's all to come in this evening's video. First up was Tam Mack this evening. Next up was Richard. He says, good evening all. And a big shout out to Stephen. Hail, hail. Stephen, I've seen that you'd commented in the videos. It's absolutely fantastic to see that you're still here, mate. And you'll be here for every video, as I know, because you are one of the stars of the One Celtic Fan View. John says, good to see Adam Media announced. John Eno was sent. We've been linked with Reteno Tapia. Don't know if that's real. I'm not sure about that. Mon the Yellow Whistle says the boys 67. Paul Baird says keep them out. I think we should keep them out. Miffy says just seen the interview with Adam Ida. Let me just get this. I thought it was because they couldn't guarantee safety at Hampden. Yeah, we need to shut out a few areas, so the whole stadium. It's just the whole situation's a mess. Yeah, so I am getting a bit of clarification with the Rangers game. We'll come to that in a second. But we'll get through the comments first of all. Stephen Johnston, big okay, big thumbs up. Hampden hasn't even been explored. Yeah, exactly, mate. That's what I was thinking. And this is for Stephen. That's for you, Stephen. Stephen Johnson, absolutely fantastic member of the channel, and he does want us to. He wants me to read out all the comments, so because obviously he can't read them himself. Sevco fans couldn't get any chicken Kievs last night. Yeah, we all know that. Well, Celtic fans were all. Nobody was eating chicken Kiev except for Hamish this morning. And we'll move on for that. Good evening, everyone, says Willie. Richard Smith says you still got rain bars. Nope. 43 at 7:45 in Tenerife. It went down. You've seen the message. Move on for that. No Hands in Paradise in September. Yes, exactly. No Hands in Paradise. Hurry up, Baz, says Keith Robertson. Never mind about the Spanish weather. Lauren Gallagher is in the house. I just jumped past a load of comments. Desmond Donnelly's in the house. Sean's in the house. The Bombo's in the house. Hail, everyone. Beautiful Wednesday. Liz Donnelly says, hail. Evening, everyone. Mark's in the house. Ian, Sean for Fife. Part of Fife are you from, Sean? Can't remember if you've told me before. Apologies if you have. Patrick Toner says, hail, hail, Baz and our boys and girls. From Belfast. Anyway, yo, Baz, chat to the baldies, says wee man Sham. I've not shaved my head today, actually. It's a pain in the arse. See, having to shave your head. I mean, I don't know how Pep Guardiola does it. Having to shave your head every 2 days. It's just a pain, isn't it? But there's nothing better. There's nothing better, actually, than leaving it for about 3 or 4 days, maybe even 5 or 6, and then having a shave of the face and a shave of the head at the same time, and you just feel, that's so much better, man. So much better. You don't know what you're missing when you've not got hair, honestly. You don't know, all you guys with hair, you don't know what you're missing. You don't know the feelings. Anyway, hail, hail, the Celtic fans. Good afternoon. Hail, hail Celtic fans, Patrick Toner, Baz, and our boys and girls from Belfast. Great news about Adam is back. Yes, it is that. I'm going to jump through a lot of the comments. Apologies. George is in the house. Evening, Baz, and all the Celtic fans. Hail, hail. Hail, hail. Stephen says George. Scott says, Baz, have you noticed the 5 stars above the Huns badge have disappeared this year? You are kidding. Get in there. The 5 badges have disappeared. Absolutely. Yep. Rab then went on to say, hey, Baz said a few days ago, good news with Ida. Now comes the back of the news in a few days' time. There's breaking news with Matt O'Reilly also regarding Southampton. There is breaking news regarding Matt O'Reilly and Southampton tonight that I'm getting, and Southampton are not in the race for Matt O'Reilly. Southampton have come out and said that they're not in the race for Matt O'Reilly, which is does that mean that the only team that are in for them is Atlanta? Sky News are also going with the story that Celtic signed Celtic striker Adam Ida. We're going to jump before we get any further. We need to jump over the land of Twitter to see what Celtic was saying. Celtic FC are delighted to announce the signing of Irish international striker. I'm just getting some more information coming through about the Celtic Rangers stuff. Celtic FC are delighted to announce the signing of Irish international striker Adam Ida from Norwich on a 5-year deal subject to international clearance. That's standard. Hashtag welcome home Adam. The first one up was Craig. He said superb. Next up was yes. They had your pants down, boys. As the next one, wow, that came out of nowhere, says Aaron. I used to pray for times like this. Welcome home, big man. And I think that's what I put on the YouTube feed when I watched the video. Adam Ida was over the moon. Adam Ida said in his interview, the short interview, the full interview is on Celtic TV. That'll probably get released onto Twitter and onto YouTube tomorrow. But he did say he enjoyed last season. He loved the big moments. He was asked if he's a big game Charlie. Can he perform in the big games? He did it last year, and he's looking forward to doing it this year. And for the next 5 years at Celtic, we got our man. We brought him home. Absolutely love it. Oh, Real Madrid, the Super Cup final. I should have put that on. Real Madrid are playing Atlanta in the Super Cup final. What station is that on? I'm going to get off Sky News and I'm going to try and find this Super Cup final. Oh, unicorns. 2 seconds. Be an interesting game to watch because Atlanta are pretty much the last team standing for Matt O'Reilly, and I'll talk about that in a second once I just find Sky Sports. It's got to be the main event, isn't it? There we go. Fucking Leeds. Who gives a shit about Leeds? No idea what channel it's on. Go back to Sky News. That was a fucking waste of time. Yeah, a minute. Go back to channel. Channel history. We'll keep tabs on that one. Anyway, the big news is that obviously Adam Ida is back. I've asked the question. Right, I've clarified it with a Sky News reporter. I have clarified the situation with Matt O'Reilly and Atlanta, and I've just got confirmation. I've just received confirmation that there's only been 4 bids from Matt O'Reilly from the Italians. A lot of the Celtic sites were saying that there's been 5 bids. I have just asked a Sky News reporter, and he's just got back to me. I asked him the question, how many bids have the Italians made for Matt? Is it 4 or 5? And he's just sent back 4. Wait till I just reply to him. Thanks, mate. So that is official. There's only been 4 bids for Matt O'Reilly from the Italians. Do not listen to what other Celtic sites are saying. There has not been 5 bids. Celtic have not turned down bids from Atlanta, a 5th bid from Atlanta. There has only been 4 bids so far for Matt O'Reilly. Now, Southampton tonight have said that they are out of the running for Matt O'Reilly. They are out of the running, Southampton. So they thought they would be in the running when Brighton went and signed another midfield player. They have now said that they are out the running. They do not want to meet it's either that or Celtic are almost doing a done deal with Atlanta. We need to keep it at that. It's interesting that a lot of Celtic sites are running with the fact that Celtic knocked back a 5th offer. I did ask for clarification and I just got it sent to my inbox that there has been only the 4 bids for Matt O'Reilly. So that is other Celtic news that's kicking around tonight. The Adam either one is fantastic news. Wait till I get back. Far too many. I'm going to have to get 2 screens when we do this. But that's fantastic news that there has only been the 4 official bids. Will they come in with a higher bid? I don't care. I would rather keep Matt O'Reilly. Hail hail from Coventry Emerald, says Martin. That's a fantastic. You'll know Bez and everybody. You know a few folk that I know. Lanky says Anthony Joseph. He's fine, mate. It is fine. But yeah, I just sent him a message saying, how many bids has there been? But he did confront me that there has been 4. They say they'll sell their player. Says that their player will go to Juventus. I heard that they're giving all the bids are going to the max was 23 million, and it looks like he's staying. There's still a little bit of time in the window. There is still a little bit of time. Hearing the Rangers haven't got Hampden ready for the role. Yeah, right. We'll get onto that one. Where is that story? So there is information kicking around tonight by a Celtic site, and I have asked a couple of guys that have connections within Celtic sit in the main stand. Celtic have put hold on the newly agreed away allocation for the first 2 derby matches of the season, citing concerns over Rangers' failure to implement the safety measures. Now, the safety measures that Celtic that put in place was obviously the netting, the full-size netting that will go up between fans. Rangers cannot do that at Hampden. They do not have the planning permission to implement that at Hampden. The deal would have seen 2,500 Celtic fans going to the away game. However, the implementation of safety fears has hit a stumbling block. Rangers have been dealing with significant issues in their stadium. Also, if you've seen the video today, and hats off to Big Simi from Belfast who sent me that video. And that was actually, and then I added the Chris Boyd bit on at the end. But you see the state of their stadium. There is no way will that be ready for the Glasgow derby. The installation requires planning permission approval from Glasgow City Council, and that takes considerable time to implement. There has been no indication that Rangers have moved forward to process this at present. With the first derby just weeks away, Celtic have decided to put the agreed allocation on hold. Celtic are well within the right within that. They have planning permission. Celtic do have the planning permission for it. But if that cannot be reciprocated in the following Glasgow derby, then it's game off, as far as I'm concerned. And good. Because we do not want them in our grounds. Let's face it, they had only 39,000 fans at Hampden last night. They cannot even fill Hampden for a Champions League game. That's it. This could be the season that breaks the camel's back of the new co. And then we'll go into Rangers Mark 3. But let me just jump back onto WhatsApp. And I'll get back to some of the messages. I really hope we keep Matt O'Reilly, says Paul Baird. Yep. The netting is on the second ship along with the steels. It is that. Right, let me just jump back into WhatsApp because there is. If they can't guarantee a safety at Ibrox 2025, they cannot That's an interesting one. So there's a possibility it might be Hampden for the news that I'm getting through that there's a possibility that they might be at Hampden for longer than they expected. They aren't giving them tickets. We aren't giving them tickets. So Celtic are not giving them tickets because they will be at Hampden longer than they are publicly saying. I can guarantee that the safety at Ibrox will be in January 2025. They can't guarantee our safety at Ibrox in January 2025. So if they can't confirm, wow. Now the January game will be at Celtic Park, will it not? The January game will be at Celtic Park. I thought it was because they guaranteed the safety at Hampden. It's just a pure mess. Yeah, it's Hampden's. Yeah. They've not done any planning permission at Hampden, I've just been told. So, if there's no nets at Hampden, they cannot get the security sorted out for Hampden either. There's only one access point for Celtic fans at Hampden. They cannot guarantee the safety of that area at Hampden because, let's face it, when it is 50-50, you're miles away from each other. You never see each other. So, it looks like Celtic have pulled the plug. Celtic have pulled the plug on the fact that there will be no fans again. No fans again at the first two, at least the first two, the minimum, the first two Glasgow derbies of this season. After all the hurrah of, and you've got to laugh because that plonker at the SFA goes, and the head of the SPL goes, yeah, we've brokered the deal. We've brokered the deal. Could you remember that? They said that we've brokered the deal and that we have an allocation sorted out for Glasgow derbies and away allocations. This needs to be sorted out for good. It has to be sorted out for good. This nonsense of reducing allocations and safety concerns is absolute nonsense. Just get it back to what it was. It'll be a lot simpler. And and I mean that for every away game. Every away game. Um, let's jump back into the comments section, and I'm trying to see where Big Stephen's commented. So to Baz, see if they bring 2 or 3 more signings. Either standard, you're going to get tight for moaning. Cell 88. I'm not moaning. I want the best for Celtic. I just don't understand. Listen, Hugo Breno, right? We lost out on him. Right, we've lost out on other players because we didn't move fast enough in the market. Are you telling me that this late we knew Adam Ida was a Celtic player? He wanted to be a Celtic player. We've paid what we've paid. I'm great. I'm grateful. I'm glad we got him in the door. Why couldn't we have brokered that deal right at the beginning of the summer? Because their manager, their new manager, wanted to see him in training. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. That's a nonsense. Absolute comment. I'm moaning because I want the best. And tell you one thing, when you go on a bus to a game, people are moaning. When you stand at the game, people are moaning. I'm just doing it on a bigger platform. Anyway, don't forget the fact that the Danish coach quit after the Euros. Um, stand-in is Big Morton. Matt should get called up, even if he stays at Celtic, at least until January. Yeah, I think he will. Kevin says, I feel another special Valentine's incoming. Well, let's hope so. They won't go bust because they know that they've got 12 million coming in from the Europa this season. So that 12 million will see them over the line again. Once again, it's going to be a case that they're going to have enough money to just see them through this season and no more. And no more. Baz, it's on TNT. Right. TNT Sports. Cheers for that, mate. UEFA Super Cup. There we go. There'll be no love lost at this game because the Spanish and Italians do not get on at all. Still 0-0 with Atlanta. Real Madrid obviously playing in white and Atlanta playing in. Interesting to see where Matt O'Reilly would fit into that team. Because obviously, if they want to buy him, he's going to fit right into that team. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that just to see how it goes. At least three more players in, Baz. Yep, Edward, I think we need at least three more players. Same platform, but your Stelios, stilettos are bigger. Same platform, but your stilettos are bigger. Celt 88, you'd love to have stilettos, mate. We know that you run around singing Queen songs, pushing a Hoover. It's cool. We're a club open to all. Right, anyway, let's get back to the Celtic news. The Millwall news with Stephen Kelly. Millwall did come out and say that they have signed Daniel Kelly on a pre-contract agreement. They have signed him on a pre-contract agreement, and he would be a Millwall player by the 1st of January. The Championship club have obviously announced that, but Celtic have made contact. They have been in talks and with Millwall, and they hope to reach an agreement, which will mean that Daniel Kelly will arrive in the next few weeks rather than the next 5 months. If the two clubs can agree a deal for the central midfielder to move south before Millwall, before the season transfer window closes, it's obviously going to be a bonus to Millwall that they get the player in and they can get him in training and get him in and around their system. He's not going to go right into the first team. It makes sense for Celtic to get him out the B team because you're not wanting a player in there that's not going to be putting in his all. He's not going to be putting in his all. It's not going to cost a lot of money. Listen, we've got 300 and odd thousand for Rocco Vata. Celtic are only looking for around about 500 grand. The point that Millwall were sticking on is Celtic want an add-on. They want an add-on added to it. And I think that's where Millwall are stalling, is the percentage of a sell-on fee. Celtic want a percentage of any sell-on fee. They wouldn't have got that with Rocco Vata deal because Rocco Vata left, but because they are selling at this window, they are trying to get that done deal. Now remember, at the Christmas transfer window, the winter transfer window, we managed to get rid of a player who had 6 months left on his contract in David Turnbull. We got €3 million for David Turnbull. We forgot about that money, haven't we? We've all forgotten about that money. We all talk about the money that we brought in for Abada, but we also forget that we brought in 3 million for David Turnbull just at Christmas. So as it stands this window, we haven't really spent any money this year. The way that the Celtic bookmen will look at it, with the money that from December onwards, even though that we've just went out and spent 8.5 million on Adam Either, we've not really spent any money because of all the players we've spent. If we can get money in for Daniel Kelly and we can get that little bit of a sell-on clause, even if it's only 5, 10, 15%, Celtic will be trying to get the 15% sell-on clause. They're probably trying to get them down. It makes sense for Millwall to take him just now. Brendan Rodgers publicly confirmed that Kelly would not take part in the first team training during the summer due to the contract issues, meaning it was unlikely to feature for Celtic between now and the Christmas window. It makes sense. Get the deal done, and hopefully we can. Now, Liverpool, there was a story that came out late last night that Liverpool are looking to sell the Japanese captain, and Celtic are monitoring the situation. But I'm not going to take much yet because they're wanting 15 million for him. Marseille have had a bid rejected for the player this summer. Celtic are never paying £15 million for a 31-year-old. Not a chance. Not a chance. We're not spending 15 million because there's no sell on. There's nothing. You're not going to sell him on for 15 million, not away. So I'm just going to rubbish that story altogether. And then that's the Celtic one. We've done that one. Yeah, because there's another one. I'm just reading this. 2 seconds. Nah, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. There's a lot of nonsense out there. Celtic have been linked with 11 million rated player. From the Bundesliga. Celtic could watch Matt O'Reilly leave, and if they do, they could make a move for this Bundesliga player. We'll wait and see, because let's face it, there's no news like good news as far as Matt O'Reilly is concerned. Right, let's jump back in. How long have we been on? We've been on for 24 minutes. There's been over 1,808 people on the live so far. There's currently 950. It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying doing the lives at this time of night. There seems to be a lot more people kicking around. Liverpool guy is crap baz. They won't sell. They didn't get the other guy that they wanted in. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a nonsense story. Handham has no atmosphere. The Huns can stay there as long as they can, says Garrett. Let's jump back into the comment section. I'll go back up. Pat has given us €2. Hey, Pat, that's absolutely fantastic. But YouTube takes 30% of it. So that'll be about €1.50 or something the time that it comes through. But thank you, Pat, for that super chat. Carly says, mine Cantwell with 56 on his shorts. Funny. They haven't paid for the new cafe, apparently. It's 10 million, and they need to pay Hampden for the empty seats regardless. Yep. Let me just jump up there. I'm just going through some of these comments. So, Irishman in Porto says if they start the UEFA matches at Hampden, supposedly they have to play all the group matches there. So that's them there until at least January. Rangers will be at Ibrox until January. The fans aren't turning up to Ibrox. It could be a winter of discontent. And I just missed it. There was 1888 views. We're now on 1,927. So there's massive news coming out tonight. The fact that Rangers are look like they're going to be at Hampden a lot longer than what they said. With that being said, Celtic are looking to pull the plug. I'd love being a Celtic supporter. It's delightful. Carly, yes, it is. It is delightful being a Celtic supporter. You're born a Celtic fan. You're born in a special family. And I can remember back as a kid and meeting Roy Aitken and meeting Bobby Lennox and having no idea who Bobby Lennox was. Being in Bobby Lennox's house, being in Bobby Lennox's pub as a kid with my dad, and having no idea that this guy had won the big cup with Celtic. He was just my dad's mate. He was just my dad's mate. And I think that, when I look back, it was absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But anyway, long time ago, you can't make yourself a Celtic fan. You're born one. You are born one. Hilarious, James Wall. What's James saying? I'm missing that. James, Baz, I've got 2 tickets for Sevco end of season dance a week on Friday. That's actually hilarious. I've got 2 tickets for Rangers for the Sevco end of season dance. Can I copy that? I'm going to send that on WhatsApp. Jesus. I'll be meltdown. I've got 2 tickets for Sevco's end of season dances a week on Friday. Oh dear. Anyway, diehard Celtic man. I am that, Gordon. Even though says Celtic girl, Johnny says, great show, Baz. I think Clement is playing a blinder by getting a long-term deal, knowing that he's not going to be there after Christmas. Clement played an absolute blinder. Carly was convinced by a hunt. What she convinced of it? I was there too, and Salcoats says, Gio, yes, it is in Salcoats, isn't it? Up to my knees in yellow whistles. What are you talking about, Carl? We need the guy for Dundee to replace Calmac in a year or two. He's ready to slot right in. There's a lot of talk about that, but I don't know if Celtic will go for him in this window. There's a lot of speculation that he will move on in this window. Hope Celtic get their finger out and make a good couple of deals in the next couple of weeks, because we are on the 14th. The transfer window, we've got, as it stands, we've just over 2 weeks to go. So there is enough time, but you've got to say it is late on in the window. Right, there's only 130 likes. There's been over 2,088 people on the live. Remember Big Jock Steen coming into Celtic in March 1965. Baz, Jesus, Anthony. Wow, you must have seen some amount of Celtic over the years. And I always used to love speaking to Davy Potter on the bus. Davy Potter was obviously the official Celtic historian who sadly passed away earlier this year. And I used to love getting on the bus with Davy. And I always remember when we went down to play Man City. Went down to play Man City in the 3-3 game, and we drove back up the road after it, and in the bus, and everyone was, there was people falling asleep all down the bus, and I'm sitting up the back of the bus, and Davy Potter and a few other guys started singing Celtic songs, but they were singing it dead soft, and it was like they were singing a Celtic lullaby to everyone that was sleeping. It was absolutely brilliant, and had very, very many conversations with the late great Davy Potter about Celtic and things that he had experienced over the years. And it's just, I love it. I just love it. I love that Celtic fans have this connection that goes back so many years. Anyway, my dad took me to the first game in 1963. Wow. Stevie 5G, Italian ref with a yellow whistle, SSB caller says he was a wrong one. He was a wrong one. Hamden says they don't cut Hamden allocation. Lol, a joke of a dead club. Boo. Yes. Big shout out to Kaiser. Atlanta just about scored. Atlanta player hits the ball in. Real Madrid player actually headers the ball, and it comes right off the corner. Right off the corner post. I don't know who I want to win in this, because I'm not really a fan of Atlanta, and everybody in Spain hates Real Madrid. Real Madrid are like the Rangers is Scotland, is Spain. It's like people wear it just because they're who they are. Then a lot of Spaniards hate them. A lot of Spaniards hate them. Go on yourself. That's never a fill. Anyway, snap, I met the Lions in Donegal when I first met Charlie and Bobby. And my door closed in their face and told my mum there was two Scottish men at the door looking for my dad. Jason, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. That is brilliant. Rapsy says, God, I thought our old first game. I thought I was old. First game was in 96, says Rap. 96? Jesus. Franco's white shirts. Now, see this nonsense that Celtic fans have got with Franco. Spain is so anti-Franco, it's unbelievable. They cover up everything to do with Franco. You've got to remember, Spain's had a left-wing government for 14 years. You know, while the rest of Europe's went down the right-wing route over the last 14 years, Spain is more left-wing than anything. It's a fantastic country to stay in. It is honestly more left-wing than any other country in Europe. But Celtic fans still think it back to the Franco years and think it's seemingly not. But it is. And I wouldn't stay here. Trust me. Hit the like, says Kevin. Cheers for that, Kevin. Get the thumbs up. There is only 156 thumbs up. There's been over 2,265 people. It's currently 510. Right. Atlanta. We've been through that one. We've had officially been told that Atlanta. We've done the Daniel Kelly one. I'm just shutting down windows. Football Transfers have said that if Matt O'Reilly is sold, Celtic have got a backup in Arnie Engels being a top target, but they're looking at around about 11 million, which is around about 9.5 million pounds. Will Celtic push the boat out and buy another player in for 9.5 million? We all spoke about it last year and said that's what we need to do. If Matt O'Reilly does go, and we bring in a 20-year-old Belgian player for 9.5 million, it would be a younger upgrade, the way that Celtic normally do it. They tried to go for a younger player, but 9.5 million is a lot of money. if he's worth it, get the player in. I don't know enough about the young Belgian player to comment on it. So any of you guys that do, with just over 2 weeks left in the transfer window, Celtic are still set to make a few moves. And then you've got the whole Mikey Johnson scenario also. Let me go back here and just update. Let's go to the Celtic site because I opened that up and I never actually read. Well, I did read it, but I never actually spoke about it. So, Celtic Football Club at 8:15 Celtic part time put out the following statement: Celtic Football Club are delighted to announce the signing of Adam Ida on a 5-year deal from Norwich City. The 23-year-old Irish international striker enjoyed a successful loan spell at Paradise last season, playing a pivotal role in securing a historic league and Scottish double for the mighty Glasgow Celtic. He made 19 appearances for the club, joining on loan in January. Last season, he scored 9 goals, including the last gap winner in the Scottish Cup final, which it was absolutely fantastic. Let's not deny it. Paulo Bernardo takes the ball from midfield. We'll remember it. Paulo Bernardo runs up, just about to strike, strikes the ball on the edge of the box. Keeper spills it. Adam Ida comes in, follows up, as you expect your striker to do. David Celtic fans go wild. The double is done and dusted. The last minutes of the Scottish Cup final. Get it up, you. Hampden isn't for winning for everyone, isn't it? Anyway, the first couple of days I've been here, when I first came to Celtic on loan, he said he knew he wanted to play for Celtic. It was amazing to get all those goals and to be with the boys and to see all the amazing fans week in, week out. It was unbelievable. I have never experienced anything like it in my life, and I am just so happy to be back. I always wanted to play for Celtic, and obviously last season was amazing. But to come here now and to be fully a part of that team and part of this club is amazing to me. Everyone back home, my friends, my family, they all wanted me to come back to Celtic, including myself. It's a massive club. I'm just so happy to be here. Brendan Rodgers says that we are delighted to welcome Adam back to Celtic on a permanent basis. We are so pleased that he has agreed his new 5-year contract with the club. He done brilliantly to secure a long-term deal. We are investing in players of real quality, and that will be crucial for us over the next few years. Brendan Rodgers is talking long term. Brendan Rodgers isn't talking short term. He's not talking in a 2-year scenario, is he? And he's talking over the next few years. Well, you could say it's 2 years. He's going to be here for a few years. But the fact that Celtic have so many players on 5-year contracts, could the manager, could he just stay to get that elusive 10 in a row? Could Brendan Rodgers be the manager to deliver the golden goose of the 10 in a row to Glasgow Celtic? Will the Celtic fans want Brendan Rodgers to stay that long? As long as we're winning doubles and trebles and we're going to be the most successful club in Scotland? Of course they will. Anyway, Brendan Rodgers went on to say he played a pivotal role in our success last year, and I know he can be hugely important for us again. Adam has fantastic attributes. He's dynamic, he's hungry, and he's committed to Glasgow Celtic. He's a player that can make a real difference. Really important that Adam feels at home at Celtic. He has a love and a passion for our club. I know he will give everything again to bring success to our fans. Brendan Rodgers talking about the one and only Adam fucking Ida. Yes, get in. Anyway, not a chance. Paul Baird jumps right in and says, not a chance. And Jim Dolan says, my first game was a night game at Celtic Park, Aberdeen, not long after we won the big cup with my dad, my Uncle Tam. He was 7 at the time. 7 at the time. Who will be our number one striker? Still think Kyogo? Says John N. I am not sure, John. I think that we'll definitely Lorna's laughing at Paul. Paul has had a long, seriously long hate of Brendan Rodgers, and we stand by him because he's never stopped. having that dislike for Brendan Rodgers for what he did the first time round. Anyway, Carly says they won the big cup and they brought it back. They are that. Mick Celtic says, I'm happy for fellow Tim playing for the jersey. Yes. And when you look at that and you think about it, you've got a young guy who's in talks with Millwall about leaving Celtic and all this nonsense. Yeah, he's from East Kilbride, he's Celtic through and through. And you've got Big Adam Ida that is bent over backwards to get to the club. Honest gamer saying, Adam fucking come on. That, if I was on, I tell you, I'd get banned for the telly. I'd get banned for Celtic if you were ever doing live commentary and Adam scores. Will Adam start on Sunday, says Paul? Yes, I think Adam will start on Sunday. I think he will, purely for the fact that Adam Ida gives us something different. And the fact that Kyogo went down on his shoulder again. Big shout out to the Celtic Supporters Podcast, who's just joined us. I think the fact that Kyogo did go down holding his shoulder again, I think it's just right that Adam walks straight back into the team and see what he does and then use Kyogo as backup. I think using Kyogo as backup for the next couple of weeks, nothing wrong with that whatsoever, and make sure that we keep him fresh. And there's two reasons that I'm thinking behind it as well. Start Adam for the next couple of games. Start Adam until we start the Champions League games. And keep Kyogo as fresh as we can. Because let's face it, if Kyogo gets a serious injury on that shoulder and it keeps him out for any length of time, that would be detrimental to us going into the Champions League. We need all our best players. Adam's a big guy. He can take care of himself at games. He can take care of himself. Rival podcast alert. It's not a rival podcast alert. Wex88. It's not. I gave them a shout out. It's not a rival podcast alert at all. There is no rivals. Do you know what I mean? There's just different levels of silliness, and I'm probably top of the tree for absolute nonsense and talking shite. But anyway, no, other podcasts are all welcome to come onto the channel. Never said that there's no rival podcast alert Wex88. And a big shout out to the Celtic Supporters Podcast. What else do we need now? Ida is in. The possibility of Matt still leaving. Well, there is the possibility that we're going to go for a German midfield player. I still think that we need a left back. I still think that we need Matt. Listen, Brendan Rodgers said himself he wanted two strikers in. Now that was Brendan Rodgers' own words. He said we needed two strikers in. I still think that we need a left back. I still think that we need a central defender. And what the fuck? Close your window. Jesus God, the neighbours. But anyway, yeah, I still think we need at least a minimum of three players in at this stage to make us stronger. We're not stronger as it stands just now. We are not stronger than we were last season. If we lose Matt O'Reilly, we're then weaker. We're going to go into the Champions League weaker, and Brendan Rodgers will know that. Anyway, it's a left back and left centre half. Paul has just done a new super chat, 199. Thank you to that, Paul. I think the same. They'll share the number one. Yeah, I think that this weekend is a fantastic game to bring in Sinasalo. The fact that he's been on the bench from the start of the season. Scott Bain's nowhere to be seen. Maybe Schmeichel will be given a day off. I don't think so. At Celtic Park, will Schmeichel go to the bench and then Bain will come in to keep Bain happy? What the big question is, and no one's talking about it, is what's Scott Bain going to do? What is Scott Bain going to do? He's not going to sit about, surely, like the one that we've just got rid of. Do you know? Yes, Stuart, the rain stopped. It stopped ages ago. Kaiser. Yes, Carly. Carly gifted a one membership view. Carly gifted a one membership view. Who did you gift that to? Lindsay Greenwood was gifted with a membership by Carly. Hats off to Carly. I didn't know you could do that. Hats off to you, Carly. Good on you. That's absolutely fantastic. So we have another new member. We do have another new member. Let me just check that inbox again. Let's close that screen down. Anyway, Lindsay has just made a new membership for Lindsay Greenwood. Welcome to the channel, Lindsay. Carly, who says it's your sister? No, no, Jesus, we're all doomed. Oh, oh, Jesus, there's two of them in the house. John Ed says, book cleaner. Hatate's not happy camper either, says GB Boy. Um, I don't think that. Never look at Rio Hatate and think that you can understand what that guy's thinking, because I think his mannerisms are that calm. I think Rio Hatate runs on a level of kaizen, right? And kaizen is a Japanese word for continuous improvement. They use it in industry, they use it in daily life, and they use it all the time. Um, God, you're gifting out memberships left, right, and centre here. I didn't even know you could do that. There you go. Fair play to yous. But yeah, I think Rio Hatate is the type of player that nothing gets him riled. And I think Celtic fans look at that as him being not interested. Do you know, he walks around the pitch and he does his thing. He gets into great positions, let's not and he's a fantastic player. But just because the way that he looks and the way that he kind of, you know, I don't look at that at all. Because when you look at it, Matt O'Reilly, he's got a coach, a mindset coach as well. So I think that thinking that Hatate doesn't want to be here, I think it's nonsense. I think you've got to remember he was one of the players that signed a long-term contract last season after he didn't get his move last season. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. We've got just over 2.5 weeks to go, and people are giving out memberships left, right, and centre. That's man. That's I'm taken aback with that. Anyway, where's Stevie boy? Is he still in the house tonight? Stevie, give us a few thumbs up. Lorna Galka, welcome to the membership. Yes, Gerald, press the wee dollar sign right now in the hand corner. Well, there you go. Can you? Super stickers, super chat. Doesn't let me do it. There we go. Brilliant. Made my day, Carly. Johnny Boy's done it as well. Right, anyway, where are we? We're sitting at 2,871 views on the live so far. 558 still on the video. When I'm looking at, oh, there he is. Nothing like a Spanish to go down quicker. Still 0-0 with Real Madrid and the Italians. The Italians that want to buy. Hatate and Matt are so different guys. One quiet and gets on with his job, and the other one makes lots of noises to move. Do you really think that? I don't think Hatate's made noises to move. He's never really. There's nothing came out. Do you know? It's all speculation. It's all speculation that Hatate wanted a move last summer. There's been no speculation. I mean, there was the thing that was meant to be lost in translation. Look, every player, even Matt O'Reilly will say it if he was asked. Do you want to play at the highest level? And if Rio Hatate was asked if he wants to play at the highest level in the game, and he says, yeah, I'd love to play in England, I'd love to play in Spain, I'd love to play in Italy. The press then jump on that and say, Hatate wants a move. Hatate wants a move. If Matt O'Reilly was asked that question, do you want to play at the highest level? Matt O'Reilly would go, of course. I want to play international football. I never got to the Euros. I want to play international football. But the media and journals and journalist types would then turn that around and say, oh, he wants to leave Celtic. And I say, well, he never fucking said that. He never said that. Do you know, every player has ambitions. Listen, Louis Palma. Louis Palma has never stopped going on about his aspirations to play in Spain. But nobody says because he has attitude. Do you know? I mean, he posts it on his Instagram like he's fucking Spanish. He has massive aspirations to move to Spain from Celtic, but he knows that he has to do the business at Celtic first. Rio Hatate, if he wants that move, he has to have a good season at Celtic. Last season, his form was absolutely rubbish. He's never going to get a move this summer on the back of his form for last season. Never. Nobody will come in and pay decent money for him on his form for last season. He was injured. He just didn't look interested. People always say, he wasn't up to it. That's not going to get you a move. Other managers are going to look at that and go, if that's his attitude there, it's like, nah, he's maybe not a good fit for us. He's got the talent, but let's see what he can do in the Champions League this season. And I think that's what will happen. He's came out the last 2 years and said he wants to play at a higher level. Yeah, but so is Lewis Palmer. So is Louis Palmer. Do you know what I mean? If nobody comes in for him and bids for him, I bet you if asked Kyogo if he wanted to play at a higher level, ask any player. Ask any player. He's just the only stupid one to be that honest. And I think that's what it is. I think it's just his honesty saying, yeah, someday I'd love to play at a bigger level. What's the big deal? Do you know? And people are just jumping on it. Anyway, it is what it is. Haddad says he struggled with the changing room from Ange Ball to Brendan's style of football, but he's happy with his input now. Yeah, we know. I know what you're saying, mate. Haddad has said that, but it was probably we don't know the way that it was questioned to him in Japan. We don't know how it was put to him. It could be just a simple question: would you like to play at a higher level than Scottish football? He's going, yeah. Would you like to play at a higher level? Would you like to play at a bigger league in Europe? Yeah, I'd love to play at a bigger league. I'd love to play in England. I'd love to play in Spain. I'd love to play in, Italy or something. But anyway, Corn wants to play in Germany. He does that. Did you see Alan McGregor on BBC last night? Nope. Never watched that one bit. If they want to play in a bigger team, then prove yourself at Celtic first, and then you'll get the move. Exactly, Kevin. You will get that massive, massive move. There's been over 3,000 views tonight on the video. The big news of this evening is obviously the fact how long we've been on. We've been on for 51 minutes. 9 minutes to go. The big news of the night is that it has been speculated. Now, it hasn't been made official yet by Celtic, but when you look at the timeline of events, Celtic are about to withdraw the tickets for the first Glasgow derby of the season. The first Glasgow derby of the season is in September. It is only weeks away. Celtic are going to pull the ticket allocation because they have safety concerns over Celtic fans going to Hampden. Rangers have not implemented the safety netting that would need required by Glasgow City Council planning permission. So with that being said, it looks like Celtic are just saying they cannot guarantee Celtic fans' safety at Hampden. They won't pay the money. Let's face it, they won't pay the money to enhance the security. They're just going to say, this is Celtic pulling the plug on it. You know exactly the way that this is going to work out in the media. It's going to be bad old Celtic pulling the plug on the allocation. Listen, they can't even fill Hampden themselves for the Champions League qualifiers. So let's see how that one rolls out over the next couple of days. The big news, Adam Ida, finally a Celtic man. Darren O'Shea is an interesting one. Darren O'Shea tells Adam Ida he loves his Celtic transfer. Will Darren O'Shea move to Celtic? Sources in Brighton continued talks. Well, that's rubbish. The Turkish Euro radar. There's not a lot more kicking about. That's us done and dusted for this evening. It's been an absolutely fantastic night tonight. We are on 18,035 subscribers. The big next one is obviously 19,000 that we're going to aim for. And then 20 before Christmas. Want to hit 20,000 before Christmas. Make sure you join the One Celtic Fans View Celtic Supporters Club. And I'm waiting for a message back from Celtic about that, actually. I should hear back from them tomorrow. So, Paul Bell says, no Huns welcome at Celtic Park. Kevin says it's all about the cash. Simples. Stephen Johnston. Big shout out to Stephen. Lots of love in the chat for Stephen. Make sure that we all include Stephen as much as we can. Cool Daddy. They have many faces. He's gone. Celtic baby, says Carly. Hail, says Tim. Tam Mac. Thomas says hail from Derry. And on that note, after 3,115 views and over 505 people on the channel, Lorna Gallagher gets the last word. Cheers, Baz. Have a great evening, troops. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening. You that is watching at this point in the video, because not many people get it to the end of the video. So to you, thank you very much. And on that note, Have a fantastic evening.